E dunque buongiorno da Antonella Palermo, state ascoltando 105 Live.
What we're trying to do here is not just give you straight up and down journalistic coverage of what's happening. Why would anybody come to the Vatican Radio? Because they're looking for more. Vatican Radio, not everybody knows, is the grandmother of radio stations. She's been around for over 70 years. And anyone who's been around for that long, starts getting wrinkles under the eyes.
A agenda dos principais momentos de trabalho de João Paulo II para...
It was founded by Guglielmo Marconi at the request of Pope Pius XI. Marconi, who was the inventor of radio.
We decided for the Holy Year, actually, in Rome, it was time to give Vatican Radio a facelift. Get her out in the gym there, shorten her skirts, color her hair, give her a new look without taking anything away from that sense of age and wisdom that Vatican Radio brings to the radio network.
The Pope reiterated the central role the United Nations must play in the rebuilding of nations.
The Vatican Radio represented very much the Catholic Church up until then, which has always been a little bit media scared.
We authorize all radio, TV, film, and photographic work at the Vatican, as you know, because you have authorization from us, I presume. And if you don't, I'll stop talking to you. No.
Wait, I've got that little piece of paper.
That's
it's right here.
That's not it.
Io ti amo, Signore, con coscienza non dubbia, ma certa.
We do everything that a normal radio station does in terms of information, infotainment, music, discussions. But we do try to give something more, because the question is, yes, why would anybody want to listen to Vatican Radio? It seems that the word Vatican carries with it a whole series of connotations. It means authority, it means source, it means tradition, it means history, it means culture, it means art, and of course it means the Pope.
Lì profuma ciò che il vento non disperde. Lì si gusta ciò che l'appetito non fa diminuire.
You wonder how an 83-year-old man can have such a relationship with young people, and I think it's because he's very open, he's warm himself, he admits that they are seeking for truth, and he attempts to respond to that, and he does it in a dialogic manner.
You don't have to be Catholic to work here. We have non-Catholics working here, but believe me, it helps. Because the Catholic Church is a very complex organization as a structure.
In the street.
Doing the work that Xavier does is not easy, especially when there is a lack of funds.
Does objective journalism exist? When people say that it's untainted, I think what they mean is this lovely Latin phrase. It says super partes, above the parts, above the roles. We're apolitical. The war in Iraq, again, was a wonderful example. I was getting angry phone calls and angry emails on day one because people were saying I was too, 105 was too pro-American, and day two because we were too anti-American, and on like that. Now, if that's happening, if you're being told you're both too pro and too anti, you begin to think, well, maybe I'm hitting it somewhere down the middle, and that's a good thing.
Non mi dispiacerebbe che avessi uno spazio.
Those wonderful old people who've been listening to Vatican Radio for 70 years, they're going to get to heaven anyway. We have to start looking at the needs of the younger generation. And they're very simple. Because if you ask them, the questions are very simple. It's, why should I be good? What is my life really about? What are the real issues I should be concerned about? How should I respond to this, to the big questions of injustice and peace and war and famine and poverty and morality, sexuality, and so forth.
E dunque buongiorno da Antonella Palermo, state ascoltando 105 Live.
Jesus said to his apostles, teach all nations. And just as St. Paul went to the marketplace, to the forum, you might say, in Athens, so we're asked to go to the modern forum, which would be the communications media.
It was our first foray into TV titles, and we were happy to get an Emmy for it. It was a good christening project. It doesn't showcase people's faces or names or cast. It really was to showcase a mood and to segue into a show about death.
It's over a minute in length, which is, most networks feel that is too long for an opening main title, but it really does, create a sense of sort of intrigue and kind of set the tone for 6 Feet Under that is, really unique to the industry.
Somebody said it's kind of like when there's a hit song, you buy the album and you see there's been a whole bunch of other songs that are good, where it allowed us entry to a lot of opportunity. The producers are starting to value it as an opportunity to help brand the show. To do something either through music
just like music.
Or to give some sort of overall look and feel or signature to the show.
I love my wife. I love my wife.
What had happened in the past, people said, we only have a half hour, let's talk about a show. Putting the cast up, those get the faces, that's it. And whether 6 Feet Under did that or whether we came around at the right time, regardless, it is starting to change.
What? Artists Against Piracy, that one was great because it was something where they were wide open, and how can you use the copyright symbol as something that goes throughout with these keywords that speak to copyright infringement. We're always interested in trying to tell a story through kind of pure graphics. I mean, it's a lot harder. And if it's something like Artists Against Piracy or, these pieces that are purely graphical, and you're just relying on that to tell your story.
When somebody approaches us with a project, normally you'd say, oh, I don't want to do that. It might be dog food or whatever, but at the same time, essentially, once you get into actually the brand of what these people need, you can always have the possibility of doing something cool.
Brand theater is pretty literal, which is taking a brand and giving it a theatrical experience.
Brand theater lets people discover what they want when they want it, with full-screen, Hollywood-caliber video.
And it's with the advent of technology like TiVo and DVDs, people are really taking more control over what they watch and when they watch it. Brand theater is all about, voluntary viewership on the basis of the consumer in both entertainment as well as advertising. What we're seeing is that there's a lot more blurring of the lines between the two.
Nike has that brand presence already built. But what you don't know about Nike is that all the research and development that they put into these things, what else happens in Portland, what goes on behind closed doors, and then what are they ultimately going to try to achieve later.
In the sports research lab, we concocted this beast, and then we'd have people run on a treadmill in the shoe, and we were able to then define what the optimum spring rate was for running.
Our hope is that it's entertaining and you would deliberately want to watch it instead of being subject to 30-second ads that get forced into programming, and they hope that on either bookend of that commercial, the programming is so cool that you'll suffer through the 30 seconds and hopefully remember what the hell they're trying to sell. We're doing it in a way that it is so neat and so interesting that you deliberately choose to watch it.
One big concept in computer art is that the computer itself makes the art, which is, liable to be very uninteresting because computers are dull.
I-Beam is a center for art and technology. We have artist in residence program, we have exhibitions, we have education programs, we do R&D for new technologies that promote creative expression. And we try to combine all those things into an interesting mix here at our space in 21st Street in Chelsea in New York. If you go to Jody's website, jody.org, it looks like your computer is broken. The web browser breaks into a bunch of boxes and files start getting dumped onto your desktop. And it makes you wonder, is this a problem? Is this what the art's supposed to be about? So, their work kind of provokes this anxiety about the technology out of control.
People are completely comfortable with computers these days. There's not sort of the same fear of the unknown. There's more of an intuition with going someplace and you see computers. It's not as intimidating for people. People come in and they say, right, I know how to interact with this. I know what a mouse is. I know what a key. I know how to sort of poke my hands around technology without just being really scared by it.
Game mods are a really exciting opportunity for digital artists because you can take this whole engine of a video game and you can modify it, add your own story to it, add your own visual effects to it, and so you can take this popular medium and transform it into your own artwork.
Art is a bigger concept than collectors. Art being about, people being expressive is what I'm after, and whether or not that can hang on someone's wall isn't as interesting.
But digital art is uniquely unsuitable to be bought. As a digital artist, how do you make money?
It's a good question. It's certainly democratizing computers. So it's making art more easily made by more people. I suppose that makes it less beautiful because more people who don't know what they're doing are making it. If it's an important or interesting experience for the person doing it, even if what comes out of it is not something you want to look at, if they enjoyed themselves, smiled, or even had some sort of revelation, that's a constructive thing to do, whether or not it's beautiful.
I find that you don't design a shape. No, you design also from the heart of the building. The beauty is also inside this building, I think, with all its gardens, its spatial relationships.
They want to have a very transparent organization, and this should be also valid and visible in the design itself.
Being such a huge company, they have also social responsibility in that way, also to make a building which is energy friendly. We've got fresh air and you can ventilate your own spaces. At the same time, the outer skin is also buffer for the noise of the motorway and the rail tracks adjacent to the building, and also buffer for emissions.
It was really a non-conventional building. We were working with the sketches of the architect and putting this into the computer to give them a kind of reference what it could be like. It's not like only a presentation. It's also a designing tool, and I think this is the big advantage of working from the start till the end with a digital model. It's always easy to update, and we made also very detailed 3D graphics. Now we can move around to see how everything is located and all the construction which is behind it.
We are able to get very close to the reality, how to experience the building, how to experience the details.
You can zoom in, of course, and then you see all this detail, how the construction of the whole building is fit into each other. This is ground floor, first floor, columns, structure, third floor, auditorium with fourth floor, fifth floor, sixth floor, seventh floor, 8th, 9th, 10. And this is the whole skin around it. So this is the final stage.
If you ask every foreigner, Amsterdam, they think about this historical center. Of course, it's beautiful. We would take a lot of care of those parts. And I think this building, also the place where it's situated, everybody comes to the city, they will see this building. And it's also a landmark that there's happening more in Amsterdam. We also are making really new towns, new buildings, new, very interesting new developments. And I hope this building will contribute also to that aspect.
The whole idea of somehow the general public and the person in the street not liking the sort of things that me and some of my colleagues do is fabrication, I think. And certainly, more particularly over the last 5 years, but maybe sort of working out from 10 years perspective, I discovered by working directly with the people are actually really interested in new things. And there is today a thing you might call architectural tourism. People respond to the new very well. And certainly in my experience, where I have had difficulties in the past in trying to get a plan passed and approved so that we can construct it, often with great fights. This is what I wanted to avoid in the future, of course. Found that you build this thing eventually, and then you find that actually millions of people go to it because they like it. Therefore, who's right? So the press is wrong. Often the politicians who are very nervous about giving permissions are wrong, but people are right, and they respond in their droves.
It's just, well, it's hard to find the words. Magic, that's all I can say, is, you know, it's definitely got something there.
Small amount of people, a lot of money.
I reckon he's just testing himself. I mean, if it pleases him, I reckon he should do it. I mean, we don't have the right to say that he's not allowed to do it, or we think it's nuts. We have our own opinions, yeah.
I think it's art, actually. I don't really think it's, too much to do with specifically magic. I'm not too sure what he's doing.
It's not magic, unless he escapes somehow, but he probably wouldn't. It must just be weird for him to watch everyone coming to see him, and he doesn't speak to anyone, or just stays there.
Is it art? Is it magic? What is this kind of?
No, it's exhibitionism, isn't it? Really, I mean, you don't stick your stuff up in a glass box and not get people to look at you. It's that's what it's all about. And it's not that interesting yet. Maybe if it goes a bit mad later, we may go back.
When I saw him on TV, certainly in New York on street magic and stuff like that, I thought the guy was pretty decent. But it's a long time to be up there, and it's going to be interesting to see his mental state develop.
I think he's a nutter. Do you think? I don't know. It's a bit strange, isn't it, really? It makes me wonder whether he'll actually be up there for that long without any food whatsoever. And I wonder what he's got in that bag up there.
I wonder if I was paid.
He says by the time he gets out, he says he might have brain damage. To be honest, I think he already has.
He's a little bit stupid. I think it's stupid.
I don't know what's motivating him. I think it's just love of publicity. It's making people laugh, so good for him.
You feel like you're torturing the poor guy with your burger fumes? Well, is it your truck? No. Where's the owner? No comment. If there's anybody out there thinks that this is all an illusion, well, I think they want to get their heads tested, because that is him.